Welcome back to the Rugby Booth. It is another tier list Thursday with your boy Luke, and today we are ranking the All Black number 10s since 2000. So we've got 11 of them that have played in the number 10 jersey at some point. I may have missed a couple in there that didn't play a lot, but these are the 11 I want to discuss today, and these are the 11 we'll be ranking. The tier list that they sit in, there's the GOAT Convo, great. Legends ahead, where we've got a legend ahead of them, so that's probably why they didn't play so many games. Need more time, and then lucky to even have the jersey, really. So, to start us off, we're going to go with the two GOAT convos, because there's a reason there's a GOAT convo and just not a GOAT section today. We've obviously got our main man, DC, one of the best to ever do it, if not the best. But I'm putting Beauden Barrett right next to him. Because obviously Beauden Barrett's done a lot in the 15 jersey as well. So I think the conversation I would like to have had is, hey, if Beauden Barrett had been playing 10 this whole time, would he have been up there with Dan Carter? And the answer may have been yes. I don't think he is good as Dan Carter, but I'm holding him up there that he had the talent of a Dan Carter. And still signed to New Zealand Rugby, so you never know what's going to happen. He may take that 10 jersey now. Richie has fully relinquished it. And run with it. So there still may be a chance he ends up in that convo with Dan Carter. So for now, got Dan Carter 1, Beauden 2. Let's go to our list though. Next up is Brent Cameron. Now you might be surprised, yes, he's having a great season for the Hurricanes, but he did in fact play one game for the All Blacks, where he was lucky to. He then never really had a chance to get back into the All Blacks after that one game. Headed over to Japan for a stint and is now back doing some really good things for the Hurricanes, which is good to see. Good to see that he's gone to Japan, learnt a little bit, come back playing some really good footy, but he was lucky to get the jersey in the first place, let's be honest. Didn't probably deserve it at the time, but was one of those, 10s that we were trialling out to see if we ended in the Stephen Donald situation again, who have we got? Next up is Nick Evans, and I've just gone legends ahead. This one's a clear legend ahead. You could always tell with Nick Evans he was great, but having Dan Carter playing in front of you, the chances were slim that you were going to get much game time, especially during those early 2000s where there wasn't such a rotation policy and the idea was you just played your best players all the time. He was like, you could have said he needed more time, but I think he actually just had legends ahead of him and he just was never going to crack it because of that. But I think he was a very good 10 and probably undeserving of the treatment he got just purely because Dan Carter was in front of him. Stephen Donald is one of the harder ones to select. I think he's lucky. Look, let's be honest. He had his opportunities in All Blacks jersey. It didn't really work out. And then got his moment in the sun where a Rugby World Cup, we were down on 10s and we needed him. And he stood up and earned that jersey. And that win puts him up to great. No, he's still lucky to be in the All Black jersey. But deserved kind of all he got from it in the end, but had to go through some battle scars, let's be honest. Next up, Colin Slade, and I think he also falls into a legend ahead. Again, Dan Carter was around at about that time, and we could see Colin Slade was the backup to Dan Carter in that 2011 World Cup. And yeah, he just never fully got his opportunity to put his name on that 10 jersey, and probably the performances he got in the jersey weren't up to the standard of Dan Carter. And when you're getting judged on that, it's always going to be hard. The first one that goes into needs more time, Stephen Petafeta. Obviously had a 52nd debut and hasn't really seen a lot of footy in the All Blacks jersey since that, but played very well in the All Blacks XV Tour of Japan. Is obviously a very exciting footy player playing in for the Blues at the moment, seeing how far he can take them along. I think we will see him in an All Blacks jersey more often with Razor in charge, and he just needs more time. I think it's one of those ones, if he gets more time and doesn't deliver, he'll end up in this section. If he doesn't get more time, he'll probably even eventually end up in this section rather than being legends ahead. Even though when you're talking about it, you're talking about Richie and Beauden Barrett ahead of him and potentially Damien McKenzie. Those are three really good names to be ahead of you. So he could move into that legends ahead, but I think we just need to see more and have him more time. One of the few players who definitely needed more time, and I think will go down in history as needed more time, chose to move overseas and play for Wasp, which I don't doubt. Like, anyone gets an opportunity to go and make money and make a living from rugby, but Lima Sopoaga was one of the better 10s that we had around that, Dan Carter leaving, Beauden Barrett coming through. Played in the same under-20s team, I think, as Bowden Barrett. I think there was Barrett, Anscombe, and Sopawonga. And Sopawonga played 12. Obviously, Anscombe, a international level 10, and Sopawonga is an international level 10. I just don't think we ever saw the best out of him. I think he played under-20 tests for the All Blacks. And as much and as highly as I rated him, we just didn't get enough opportunities to see him in a black jersey. And I remember one game against South Africa, he basically won us the game, and you could just tell the talent was there, but unfortunately, just not enough time in that All Blacks jersey. Aaron Cruden's one of the interesting ones. I think he, as much as he had legends ahead like the Dan Carters and the Bowden Barrett, I think he was still great. I think he played over 50 games for the All Blacks, solidified that backup 10 jersey when players weren't there, when we needed a 10. I think as much as you could put legends ahead, because I don't think he could get himself into that GOAT convo without those legends ahead of him, I think he's been a great All Black and was a great All Black and deserved the minutes he got and the games he got from the position he was in. So I've gone him there, and it's funny enough, I'm going to follow it up with D-Mac. It's hard. D-Mac, I know, has played more 15. I think I rate him as a 15. I highly rate him as a 15. With his opportunity to go into 10, we could put him in there. And I think he's a great rugby player, and that's why he started off in great. He needs more time in that 10 jersey. We're ranking them based on their first 5 fly half abilities, based on that 10 jersey, where Damien McKenzie doesn't quite have enough time in and needs more time. Now, this one might be slightly controversial, but Richie Moran goes into the great. He's not in the GOAT convo, and I'll tell you why. I think he's a fantastic player, one of the best All Blacks, or club rugby players, as we've seen him just win another trophy with the Japan League One team he's with. No World Cups. 2019, 2023, when you need players to step up, when that is their moment in the sun, you've got to bring home World Cups. And that's what, Barrett, I know, has a World Cup to his name. Carter has 2. Barrett has 2. For Mo'unga not to have any, it's a tough one. It's one of those ones I think will, all in all, put his legacy on where it is. Like, I don't think you can say he's going to end up anywhere better or worse because of that. I think he's just going to sit in that great conversation. But say the All Blacks had won those 2, boy, we could be having some serious conversations about him being up there with DC and Bodie. But I say if they had won those 2, if the All Blacks had won those 2, do New Zealand rugby and rugby in New Zealand pay a bit more attention to Richie Mo'unga? Do they try and say, let's keep this kid in our country, let's make sure we don't lose, a 2-time Rugby World Cup winner who could go down as one of the best to ever do it with all of the trophies and accolades he had. But he didn't. He didn't. Obviously, England sabotaged us in the first one, and South Africa deserved winners in the most recent one. So that's why I think he ends up in the greats. But I think that's a pretty fair list. I think we've got, Brent Cameron again since 2000 and Stephen Donner. I think we're lucky to be in those jerseys. I think if we saw more Alima, more D-Mac, maybe we can. And Stephen Peterfetter and D-Mac are kind of in the same situation. I think Nick Evans and Colin Slade were both, there was just better players ahead of them. They weren't getting past those, weren't as good as these 2 are, or this one. And this is why he is in our GOAT convo. And you could even do this. I think there's an argument there that DC is the best to ever do it, and Barrett's just chasing. And even that, you could go probably down there. I don't think I put Cruden up with these 2, but I think I can. I will. I shall. I do, because it's my tier list. But let me know if you agree with this tier list. Let me know if you think I missed anyone else deserved to be there. If I misplaced anyone, I should say, because I think I got the bulk of the 10s who have played in the All Blacks jersey since 2000. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you like and subscribe. My name's been Luke. I'm from the Rugby Booth. See you later. Goodbye.